I got to visit a bookshop last week in Brooklyn, in New York. It only just opened a few weeks earlier. It's called the Ripped Bodice. Absolutely fantastic. I want to tell you about it. My name is Mark Fletcher. I'm the owner of Tower Systems. We make point of sale software for independent retailers. And I also own News Express, which is a marketing group of pretty innovative, about 200 pretty innovative retailers. And I love looking at retail. This bookshop is called the Ripped Bodice. And the Ripped Bodice, first of all, started in Los Angeles about 8 years ago. And they've just opened in Brooklyn in August 2023. So I was there not long after it opened. Now, a little bit of history. The name of the bookshop, the Ripped Bodice, is based on a subgenre of fiction. And a bodice ripper, there was some controversy around this subgenre, and it's a novel that's set in the past that includes a lot of sex scenes. So let me take you into the Rip Bodice in Brooklyn and see what I saw, and maybe see why I fell in love with this shop. It was absolutely one of the most innovative bookshops that I've been to. So you're standing out on the street, you see this, it says the Rip Bodice. How can you not go in? As you approach the front door, I love the sign they have that shows that the shop is open. Really clever, innovative, and it tells me that I'm going to step into something pretty exciting. Just inside the front door on the left-hand side, here's their history. And it talks about when the original bookshop was founded in Los Angeles by two sisters, Leah and B. Koch. And they are really successful in their Los Angeles situation, and they've just moved to Brooklyn. So you step inside the door, there's the history. You can see that the walls themselves are papered with books. More on that in a moment. There's also a very strong mission statement, which is very clear about the kind of business that they're running, who they're running the business for, how it's fully inclusive, female-owned, queer-owned, and they're really focused on their target marketplace. And you get a sense of how much they love reading and how much they love books by how much books kind of control the store. The walls, parts of the ceiling, some of the furnishings, all covered by books that are open and beautifully placed. And Lee, as I understand it, one of the sisters did this work herself in creating the bookshop. And there was a press release that came out, and she made a comment that she loves physically putting her stamp on a space, especially challenging people's notions of what a bookstore could look like. And she certainly does that. She really creates just the most wonderful experience. And you look around, as I say, you've got books on the walls, you've got books on the ceiling, you look up and this is what you see. And you've got flowers strategically placed through there, just to kind of help lighten the load, if you like. Really lovely stories, some nice family photos. It makes you feel like you're in this really welcoming place. And everywhere they can, they're doing this fixturing and finishing in this way. So appealing, so wonderful. When I was there, I knew I was in an environment. I'd stepped off the street and into another world. And that's what all of this did for me. It really took me to this other place. And I loved the way they told their stories. They even covered furniture, as I said, with pages from books. They do really good presentations on books. And they also show you books that reference the Ripped Bodice. So here's an example from Hollywood Heroine, and you've got the text highlighted there as to where the Ripped Bodice is referenced. The same here with this particular book, The Good Ones, and you'll see the Ripped Bodice is referenced in there too. So it's really interesting how they're connecting the name of the shop with books they're selling, with the subgenre they're representing, even though most of the books they sell are romance related. They're not specific to the subgenre. They have other products in there as well. They've got bags that are branded for their business. They've got greeting cards, a really awesome range of greeting cards, just wonderful, full face display, very easy to purchase from. They've got badges, really nice, strong message badges that are appealing as well. Here's an old sewing table, something like my grandmother had many, many years ago. And you've got a range of products around there, and including, you've got some bookmarks, you've got some tea. I've got one of the bookmarks here that I happen to buy from them. This is a laser cut bookmark, really cool. A nice takeaway gift to have. More of their bags. And, they've got candles that are just so much fun. The name of the business here is Virgins on Fire. This candle was handmade by a gay man, not a multinational corporation with a rainbow logo 30 days out of the year. Really strong message, in terms of how businesses, corporations leverage the rainbow flag when it suits them commercially. Drag Queen Story Hour, which of course, in terms of the news and what's covered in the news here in Australia and in the US, very on point candle, a lot of fun, the kind of candle you could give to a whole bunch of people. They have this section in the shop, like some innovative bookshops do, blind date with a book. I happened to buy one. So this is one of the books that they had there, $15. I haven't opened it yet. I don't know what the book is. There's a small description on the front as to what it is. I really love these stickers that they create to sell them. So they do a little bit more than, they give you a little bit of a hint as to the story without taking you too far into the story. And I think that's better than some of the ones that others I've seen where they're truly just blind wrapping. So you've got no sense of the book that you're actually getting. So I really think that's impressive, the way they're kind of making that work within their business. I had a look at their website traffic, and their website's getting around 12 to 13,000 unique visitors every month. That's pretty good for an independent bookshop. And I think now that they're open in Brooklyn, that will only grow. I think what's interesting is that in the US, I'm looking here at US traffic, so 16.89% of their traffic is coming from people who are looking for them. But if you go down a little bit further, and excuse my language here, but the number 4 keyword that you can see on there is juicy tittus. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And that is generating 3.6% of their traffic. There are 4,400 searches for that every month. And it's actually juicy tits, but the search engine tool that I'm using thinks it's tittus, but the book itself is juicy tits. And if you click on this link from within their website, it takes you to this on the Ripped Bodice website. Now, even though I'm talking about the shop, the website itself is pretty cool. It's very easy to shop from. I can add it to my cart, or I can add it to my wish list, and really, really terrific. So they've got a good online presence, and they've got a physical store presence, good physical store presence. I haven't been to the LA one, but I have been to the Brooklyn one, and that's the one that all of these photos are from. I want to go back to these photos here as you step inside the shop. This, to me, is what was really interesting. This is a shop fit that they created themselves. It's a shop fit where they take you into their world. They really take you into their environment, and they give you a sense of being somewhere other than on a high street situation in Brooklyn, New York. And I think that's really cool. I think it's really cool for local retailers to do that sort of thing, to take you to a place that is different to what you've stepped from. So you're going along the street, you've got traffic noise, you've got people around you and stuff like that, and then you step into their world, and you know that you're in their world. And, I'll tell you the truth, this wasn't a destination visit for me. I was there with a work colleague. We were looking at other retail in Brooklyn, and we saw that shop on the other side of the street and thought, oh, let's go have a look at that. It says the Ripped Bodice. What is it? What is that about? And within seconds of stepping inside, we knew we were somewhere special. We spent, 20 or so minutes in there and made some purchases. It was absolutely fantastic. I'm not a romance novel reader, not against the genre, but I'm not a romance novel reader. But their shelves are full of a very diverse selection of romance novels. And I really felt that I could buy for a range of people in terms of gifts there. That's part of what good retail is about. It's about switching you from being that kind of casual browser, the curious browser, into being someone who's spending money in the shop. Their shop fit, the environment that they created, did that. Their demeanor within the shop, they weren't intrusive. They let us browse, and look, it's fair to say I'm probably not their typical or average customer. Didn't feel out of place. They didn't treat me in any special weird way. And it was incredible. I think it's one of the most innovative bookshops that I've seen. I really love the experience. I would definitely go back there next time I'm in Brooklyn. And I also think that it's a shop from which we can learn a lot. The fact that they embrace their whole story with their shop fit, and that they've done this themselves. Too many retailers, I think, employ professional shop fitters to create shops for them. Absolute waste of money, I think. And what they've done at the Ripped Bodice is show that to be true. They've created something that's unique, something that I want to go back to, something that I want to tell people about. And I think that's what local retail it benefits from the most, that word of mouth experience. It's just fantastic. I can't praise their shop enough. Really enjoyed the experience. I'm glad to have been there. I'm glad to have made a purchase or two, the bookmarks and the book. And if you are in Brooklyn or in LA, go have a look at the Ripped Bodice. It's well worth it. Go have a look at their website, see what they're doing. Very innovative. If you're a book retailer, I think there's a lot to pick up from what they're doing. If you're any sort of retailer, I also think there's a lot to pick up from what they're doing. I'll say it again, and I've said it several times. The fact that I stepped from the street into their shop and into another world was amazing. Absolutely incredible, unexpected, and such a joyous, really wonderful, happy, and joyous experience. Not what I expected stepping into a bookshop. And, I own shops back here, and it's encouraging me to go and experiment in a similar way with a couple of shops that I have. Thanks for watching. Hope it's been interesting. I'll see you again soon.